So I'm here with Denese Duran Longsworth. Yes, because I'm married now. Yes,
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Denese served as one of the judges for the 2023 Black Podcasting Awards. And so I'm so happy that you're here, Denese. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
I know. I was excited. I was like, she's going to be here. I have to see her. We haven't seen each other since Afros and Audio.
I know Afro's last year, right? And
yes.
are you going next month as well?
Yes.
How many of y'all going to Afros and Audio next month? Get up in that chat and let me know because I will be there as well. So Denese, I wanted to talk a little bit about the judging process. This year, we had more categories than we've ever had, almost twice as many categories than what we've had in the past, right? And so as one of the judges, I know that it was a grueling experience. I mean, I judged the first 2 years when it was like a minimal number of categories. How difficult was it for you to make selections or like to organize who you thought was the best in the different categories?
No, you're right. Last year I was a judge as well too, and this is my second year. And last year it was a big difference. We had so many categories and so many talent. One of the things that I noticed about this year is that a lot of the feedback I know you remember last year was, okay, make your trailer stick out. Make sure that what your trailer is bringing as a podcaster represents the best of your show. And I feel like they did such a good job. It was so hard to decide. But, as the categories are broken down, the clarity of what your content represents. Is your show unique? One of the things I paid attention was your show unique in the category. That was important to stick out because there were so many shows. For example, the crime podcast, the true crime. This year was very hard. I love all categories, every single category. I don't want to pick face, but I'm going to tell you the true crime was a little hard because there were so many different intricate stories. We had Fruit Loops that was really great, that I love and I've listened to prior to being MBPA, and there's a few others. So that type of category, when it's very niche, you want to make sure that it's dynamic and there's a different type of uniqueness and something that pops out. So I think that's one of the things that I would say with the categories, that we want to see something that makes you different, right? How do you stick out? One of the ones that I love too, best film and TV podcast, Bruh Meets World.
Listen, even just recording the so first of all, true crime podcast. Did y'all notice in the show I gave y'all a little true crime tease? You know what I'm saying? I thought it was cute. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, but I gave y'all a little, if podcasting was a little true crime situation, and we gave that. But even in the recording, I thought just the name of that podcast, Bruh Meets World, is so creative. Like it really, and like really creative, So you go ahead. You got a chance to listen.
Yeah, I did. And what I loved is that there is a bunch of different podcasts that talk about, there's one about, I don't know if you guys heard, it's like Carrie Bradshaw. It's like the Bradshaw boys, these men that listen to Sex and the City. And I thought it was a good take on Black creatives listening and watching and talking about a show like Boy Meets World. Cause I'm a little older. That was my era.
Yes.
You have Topanga and Corey, and I'm a fan. So listening to how funny it was and how I was like, this is a great podcast. So that's an example, like you said, and that's a good lead in, the name. It was so catchy. Hence why, they've been nominated and they won, right?
Yes. So were there any of the winners that won tonight that, as like listening as a judge, you felt like, man, this show could really win, and then they did win?
Of course, Lisa, Stitch Please.
Shout out to Stitch Please podcast.
I don't want to be biased, but
this is Lisa's first podcast award win, period. But especially her first win for the Black Podcasting Awards. Shout out to Lisa Woolfolk, the host of Stitch Please podcast. I love you, Lisa, and I am so ridiculously proud of you. That is amazing. But yes, Lisa, go ahead.
I like Every Voice as well. That was one that caught my attention. I like Austin Matters. That was one that I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And to think about it being obviously a major city in Texas, and about that type of community, that it won, because everybody wants to know about diversity, different communities, and for it to be like niche in that way, it was a really good podcast. I also liked there was a lot, guys. Y'all, I listened to I promise it was like 100 and something. I was like, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. But one of the ones of the categories that it was really hard to decide, and because there were so many good, was the scripted podcast.
Oh, the scripted fiction.
Fiction, yes.
Yes. You know, that is one of the relatively new categories for this year. And I was specifically very excited about it because there was a time that I didn't really listen to scripted fiction podcasts because they just were not good. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, we had that conversation. I remember that.
It was really hard.
Yes.
To find a good scripted fiction podcast. And then Talib introduced me to Experience J and Black Audio Dramas Exist. And so I started kind of exploring that world a little bit more. And I was able to find some shows that I was like, okay, I get it now. Like this is pretty good. So yeah, that category, I'm very happy that we were able to bring that category through because there's some really good storytelling that's happening right now, especially in the Black podcasting space.
Absolutely. 1972, Mermaid and the Lion.
Yes.
You know, even there's one called Soft Season that I really enjoyed. I'm not sure. I don't think I know the producer or the person who created the podcast. I thought it was really good, but there were a lot. One of the other categories that I was very excited for is the podcast network. Right. And I was like, yes. And, you know, I wanted more podcast networks to join. And, you know, I was talking to Demetrius about it. He's like, what do you think we can do? Because I have a podcast network, Podcasters Unlimited. And, you know, with podcast network, it has to be an alignment in a niche. And, you know, everybody who's into podcasting, a lot of us do different things. We're not just podcasters, writers, you know, different things, bloggers, even musicians, right? So it's hard to align. And one of the things that I told Demetrius is I think sometimes it's overwhelming for podcast networks who have variety of shows to pick certain shows to be showcased. So I think that's probably why maybe it's a lot, because you're talking about networks. You know, you have the Black Podcast, the Black Love Podcast Network.
The THC Media Network.
They have a variety of shows.
So
it's kind of hard. But I think that as we get along, you know, looking at what the Black Podcasting Awards is going to do every year, it's going to be easier for people to get into that specific category.
I'm definitely hoping that we do see more podcast networks. Like I hope to see that category continue on year after year. I think, you know, going into it when we were planning for the season, that was one of the concerns was, you know, are there enough Black podcasting networks that can be highlighted and that would want to be a part of it? And so, you know, I'm hoping that by this time next year, then all of y'all gonna be done started y'all podcast networks and we're gonna be ready to go. And we're gonna have so many people in the category. The judges gonna be like, y'all better stop playing with us because we don't have time to listen to all of these shows and networks and everything like that.
I agree. Yeah, no, I think there's so many podcast networks that we don't know about. And like I said, I think it's gonna grow. I see it with so much potential.
Absolutely. Well, Denise, thank you so much for joining me this evening.
I love you. I can't say no to you. You looked at me, I'm like, of course.
Yes. I was like, girl, you come and sit on the sofa with me, girl. Come on, let's do that. But I appreciate you and I appreciate the work that you're doing. Y'all check out Podcasters Unlimited. And if you live in the state of New Jersey, check out Podcasters of New Jersey. Denise and Ann, they work together. I love you some Ann. Shout out to Ann. Hey, Ann. I told you Ann reminds me of my niece, Amber. She looks just like Amber. So I feel like I just take Ann up under my little wing. Thank you so much,
honey.
Denise.
Nice seeing you always.
Always.